Hi, it's Patricia from Huntress Habits, and today we're going to do some chalk couture. I'm going to show you how to clean off a chalkboard, and I'm introducing to you, if you haven't seen already, the April Club Couture release. Every month, Chalk Couture releases a new transfer besides their seasonal ones. And as a designer, you get it a month ahead of time. So this is for April, and I held off until April to do this one. So we're going to do it in purple and green. Actually, the correct names are mint and lilac. Mint and lilac. This is the Chalkology paste. And the cool thing about this transfer is that it has two main scripts in it. One is Mama's Kitchen, and I believe, yeah, that's the name of the transfer, is Mama's Kitchen. And it has some kitchen utensils and some arrows and a heart. And then it has Because I Said So. And that's what we're going to do today, is the Because I Said So. And it has a pretty script swirl to go under it. We're going to be mixing the two colors, so I have a small container where I've been collecting my mixed colors together to see what new color I can come up with. I have the flat squeegee and the angled squeegee to work with. Now, the first thing we're going to do is get Mama's Kitchen out of the way. The ones I know for sure we're not going to be using. And notice on these, just some few tips here. I numbered them 1, 2, 3, and then on the back, I drew an arrow and put the number 3 on there, so that I know which back goes to what back. Did the same thing on each one of these. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm going to slip those aside. On this one, I'm going to show you another here. I drew a heart on the back, but here's another tip. You can actually draw a heart on the front, and then when you pull your transfer off, you've got that heart there. Well, it didn't do too good with this purple. Let me try it a little bit darker. It's not hurting your screen, not affecting your transfer. Now, some people ask if these, well, why can't you just use a stencil with these? These are actually, see, there we go, there's the heart. So when you've got little designs like that, you could just draw them on your backing, because you want to keep that backing to put these back on. And they go on the shiny side. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to use that heart, but I'm not sure where. Okay, I've already marked all of these. Did the same thing with the dashes. Oh, did I not put my number 3 on that one? 3. I might have left it off just so I could show you how to do it. I don't remember. I got this ready to do several days ago and got interrupted with other things around this household and never got back to it. I was planning on doing it right before April 1st. Okay, let's clean this one off. And remember, when you save your wrappings to put your transfers back in, but it also has your use and care for chalk transfers. You want to follow these directions so that your transfers can get anywhere from 8 to 15 uses from them. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, and I probably should have done that at the very beginning of the video, so that it can soak in just a little bit. But we can stir paste while that's setting. Just going to let it sit there for a few minutes, and then we're going to wash it right off. Now, if I had wanted this to be permanent, I would have sprayed it with my Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear Enamel, or you can use Krylon Crystal Clear. There's several different ones out on the market. They're pretty much all the same. Okay, we're going to stir that and see if it needs to be a yogurt consistency. So if it's a little thick, needs just a little dash of water. And I'm going to use my little water spritzer for that because I don't want to add too much water. You don't want it too thin. And it doesn't take much water to get it to the right consistency. This is a non-toxic Chalkology paste. All of our paste are. I'll give it one more spritz. Stir a little bit more and it should be just right. Yogurt or icing is the consistency that it should be. And notice I've tried to keep my rim clean. I can't say that for all of my jars. I need to take a day off and just clean all of my jars. And they recommend that you don't use wood to stir these with. Use something plastic. I'm using makeup spatulas. They're a very inexpensive tool that you can wash and reuse over and over again. Oh, this one's a very good consistency. But when you get that dried up paste on the sides, it might prevent it from getting a good seal, and your paste isn't going to last you as long. It has a 6-month shelf life, but it could last you for several years if you take care of it correctly. Of course, mine goes pretty quick. Okay. And we're going to do a marbling effect. Did I mention that already? Okay, that's soaked in pretty good. Now I'm just going to wipe it off. Might need a little bit more water. And this has been on here for several weeks. Oh, knocked my paste off. And actually it got water on it, so I'm going to go ahead and clean that up because I don't want it to get mixed in with my other. There we go. Okay. There we go. Cleans off pretty easy. No problems. Now with this paper towel, it's going to leave some lint. So I'm going to grab a baby wipe. Doesn't matter what brand you use, or just a wet, lint-free cloth would work. And I'm going to go over it and get all that lint off. And then we'll let that dry for a second before we put our, there's more water dripping. Okay. You can tell which way my table slants. It's because of the floor out in this studio. But that's okay. Okay. I could wipe it with my lint-free cloth, couldn't I? There we go. That's the first time I've cleaned one on screen, but I thought I'd show you how easy it is so that you can use the boards over and over and over again. Now we're going to put that right about here in the center, and then we're going to put this underneath it. Is that going to affect the transfer? I'm trying to see if they're overlapping in the actual design. Could put it like that. I think I will. Then we're going to put the explanation marks and then decide where our heart's going to be. Okay. Now press down on this. You don't want bubbles where the writing is, where the screen is, or where the design is. Okay, and we're going to fold this other. Did you see how that overlapped right here? So I'm going to fold this under. It's not going to affect the other transfer. And when I go to clean it, I can unfold it. Okay, now one thing I did forget to do, normally I would fuzz these up, especially if I was working on glass. Because they tend to stick very good. Let's see. Just not sure where to put these. There's 3 of them, but I don't have to use all 3, do I? I'm going to put the other one right here. I sometimes have trouble peeling them off. And see, I want to stick these over to the side. I don't want to lose my backings. If I did lose them, because I'm good at that, then I could just use a sheet of freezer paper or a backing from some vinyl that I've used, or some mailing address backings. Oh, I wasn't going to use this one, was I? Okay, put that one back on there. Oh, I could stick it up here, couldn't I? Being very symmetrical today. I'm not normally that way. Or at least not in my artwork. Okay, and our little heart's going to go right here. Just to remind them it's because I love them that I tell them to do. Okay, now we've got everything stirred up and we're stuck here because this one's hanging over, but that's no problem. And we've got our squeegee and our slanted squeegee if we need it. Got everything we need, so let's start daubing some of this on there. It'll all make sense when I start squeegeeing it out if you haven't seen Chalk Couture before. It's one of the easiest ways to decorate your home, make gifts for friends, and also you can become your own designer and get a fairly nice discount off of the material. Oh, and I'm contaminating that one, so I don't want to stick that one back in there. But I'm going to go ahead and do it that way while I've got paint on there. I'm just going to lay it down right there. Well, then why didn't I lay it down on some place that needed it? Actually, I probably can wipe it off and stick it back in there. I do have a spare, though. Okay, I've gotten all the purple off, so I'm going to go ahead. I recommend to anyone that finds that they enjoy this to go ahead and become a designer so that you can get that discount. For $99 you get, okay, that's really pretty much on there. For $99 you get, okay, I don't want to put that back in the jar. You get $230, a little bit over that. And, okay, now I'm just making sure it's all down in there. You get that discount on your products, and of course if you decide that it's something you want to do for selling, then you get a commission off of what you sell. And you have the freedom to pretty much sell the way that you want to. If you want to hold parties, or if you want to do make and takes, or perhaps you just want to sell to friends, or just use it for yourself. You don't have to sell. Okay, I'm just trying to focus here for a second. There we go. I'm going to go back over that heart one more time with a little bit of this. There we go. All of the excess can be saved. If you were doing just one color, you'd put it back in your jar. But like I mentioned, I'm saving all the light colors. This one's purple now, and it had purple in it. Purple, green, and a little bit of yellow in there. There's no telling what I'll end up with. Now, I need to work a little bit quicker. We'll set that aside and start pulling them off. As I pull them off, I'm going to put them into a pan of water that I have, and I always put the paste side down. Just makes it easier to clean. Oh, and I had water under that one over here. So we're going to have to do that one over. I don't know where that water came from. But that's what I like about this, is that I can show you how to fix mistakes. I hope it's not under the because I said so. It might have been on the transfer itself, and I just didn't realize it. Okay, I'm going to put these in the water, and I'll be back. You want to take off the transfer before, dry my hands, before it dries. Because if you don't, it's going to dry inside the screen, because this is like a silk screen. And you're not going to have a good picture that way. And it looks like that's what's happened to this one. I don't know if it's because the board had moisture on it or it dried too quickly on me. I think it's a moisture thing. I should have let that board dry longer. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. Wipe it off. This is a good teaching. And then we're going to blow dry this board. Now this is just a board that I picked up along the way. Cleaning up as I go. Want to make sure there's no water over here. Oh, and I need to clean that squidgy off. I'm going to dip it down into the water real quick. Okay, got that cleaned. Okay, I think that's what happened. The board was a little bit wetter than I thought. So now I could take the time to clean all of those in front of you, but what I'm going to do is use Mama's Kitchen. This is one of those learn by my mistakes. And make sure all that moisture's out. You can purchase chalkboards from anywhere and put it on. Doesn't have to be chalkboards. I've done it on glass. I've done it on metal. We've done it on porcelain. All sorts of different places. So it doesn't have to be. Okay, let's grab the scissors. And we're going to cut these apart. You'll watch me label them real quick. Cupcake. Oh, I already had that one labeled. Good. Spoons. Whip. Already done. Okay, Mama's Kitchen's got to be written on the back of that one. You could just write back, but if you write the name of what it is, it does help to match them up. Let's see how we're going to do this. Put that underneath here. Maybe that like that. Put Mama's Kitchen here. Put those things here. No, I don't want to use those. How about that? We won't be symmetrical that way. There I go again. Hard to get the corners. Now I mentioned something about linting them just then. I did that on my shirt as out of habit. Okay, Mama's Kitchen with no bubbles. And I see a big bubble. Okay. I have trouble with the corners, and you know what I use? My weeding tool or any pointed device would work. Just scrape it back a little bit. I tend to make a lot of mistakes in my older years. Okay, do I want it this way or do I want it this way? I think I want it this way. And then maybe put that one that way instead of straight up and down. Here I have the tool in my hand. And I'm not using it. Okay, how about like that? Okay, here we go again. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is do 1, pull it up. Okay, do I have a clean one? Could be because it's so hot out here right now. I know I did some the other day, and I had the fan blowing, and I didn't realize that it was blowing right on the top of the chalkboard that I was doing. And so they were drying out way too quick. I thought, what am I doing wrong? Okay, we'll go ahead and take that off. Oh yeah, much better. And like I said, I got all that moisture out of it. Our chalkboards that we sell at Couture are porcelain coated and warranted for 50 years. So I will be long gone and dead by the time something happens to them. I do like these colors together. Okay, squeegee. Now, if I was to get off of this, like just there, get off on the side, all I have to do is clean that up with a Q-tip or a rag or a wet brush, and I will do that when I'm done with all of these. Turning out good. I may have spoke too soon, but okay, let's see here. Doing one at a time is working better than trying to get them all in this heat. You know, it was 40-something degrees last night in Texas, in East Texas. But today, I'm not sure what the temperature, I think last time I looked it was 71. And that was several hours ago, so I'm sure it's getting close to 80 now. I know those of you that just got snow a few days ago would probably wish that you were here. With this marbling technique, sometimes you use a lot more paste than what you normally would. And I guess that's why I like to save it. But it has such a pretty outcome. Now I think I hit that just then with my finger. And even though it does look distressed with a little line down there, I could fix that with a paintbrush with no problem. Okay, we're just about through. Okay, let's clean up my mistakes. Get my Q-tips over here. Oh, where did those other Q-tips that I got go? There they are. These were recommended pointed tip cotton swabs. Doesn't matter what brand you would get. But they're more precise that way. I'm sorry I'm off camera, but I'm sure that you don't want to watch me use this X-Acto knife to open this. Those of you that, if I was to cut myself and you're faint of heart or blood, I didn't though. I tend to use X-Acto knives more than I do. Okay, I need to get this wet, so I'm going to spritz it. And the ones that I got are pointed tip on both ends. So I can use one end and then swap around and use the other end if I need to. And all I did was wet it. Okay, there we go. Let's clean that up. Now, show you how I fixed that where my finger touched it. I'm going to go ahead and get over here from the jar that I'm saving instead of that jar. And I'm just going to put that stripe right there. There we go. Now, I don't think I completed a sentence a while ago. I was talking about how some people would ask about a stencil. And these are not stencils. They are silk screen. They are cloth. And when you lay your paste on top of it, it filters through that screen where the design is. And because they can be used over and over and over again, then you think you might be paying a lot of money for them, but you're not, because of how many times you could use them. If you have 10 kids and want to do the same board for, well, let's say 5 kids. I hope no one out there has 10 kids. Maybe 10 grandkids, and you wanted to do the same thing for all 10. You could use one transfer. And there we go. We want to keep these sealed as best as possible so that the air doesn't dry them out like wood would. Okay, and I'll put those back into my package. Those little ones I just picked up. Clean my mess up. And I will clean the top of those jars so they have a good seal. Oh, I need another. I know what I'll use this time. I'll use a little rag. There we go. Okay, there we are. Mama's kitchen. That should be in my kitchen anyway, because because I said so. I usually don't say that much anymore. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Be sure and give me a thumbs up and share this video.